Last week at Musitechnic, where I work, we had the product specialists from Roland Canada come in and explain 4 devices, 4 new products that came in. The name is Dustin Good, and Dustin was really nice, and he's a synth head. He loves synthesizer. You can see how when he explained how you can do things with it. These are really, it's a really cool demo. Now, we split the demo into 4 parts for the different devices. The first one, we talked about the new TR-08 and how it's built, what it does, the sound you can have, and the advanced feature you would find in it. So go see it, really cool if you like the TR-08. Honestly, I was surprised at the sound.
Any special feature that now is, didn't exist in the original one that you would see on this one?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, there's some features that were kind of inspired by where people took music with 808s. So a couple features that I would say owe their influence to trap music and hip hop music.
Okay.
So one thing that people did was modify 808s and sample them and change the sound with longer kicks was one thing. So what we have is we actually have like 2 kick engines in this that you can swap out. So appropriately, I'll take the BPM down a little bit and I'll change the beat to make it a little more kind of trappy while we're doing this. So I'll play this. And I want that snare here. Now I can go in and go into the menu. We've got tons of features under the hood that let you customize the sounds a little more. But if I go to BD, I can actually select what type of bass drum I want. We've got a good decay like the original, but if I select long, we can really get that kind of blown out, like subwoofer in the trunk kind of thing.
It's a really cool drum. If you like the TR-808, it's probably something you want to look at. The other one was the SH01A, which is a modern version of the SH0101. Again, that one sounds massive.
Modulation goes really deep.
1 LFO.
1 LFO, except this actually has more shapes than the original. So we've got, with the ACB technology, it's powerful enough that we can actually have 4 SH101s in here at the same time. So the different things you can do with that is change a monophonic patch to a unison, which will take 4 of the same whole synth voices and stack them up. So this is something you could do
like
on
having
the Junos.
4 SH.
Exactly.
Okay.
4 Juno, like 4 voices or 6 voices on a Juno could do this. The Jupiters could do this. MKS-80, those, and it's good, gets you this huge drifting kind of sound, right?
And if you know anything about the SH101, you know that everybody who uses one says you can't make it sound bad. It has a nice sound to it. It makes so much of a wide palette of different sounds you can make with a very simple design of a synth, but it just sounds good. So honestly, in my book, it's probably my next one on my list of synthesizers I want to buy. So the SH01A, in my case, it really is cool. Now, the other one we talked about was the SE-02. The SE-02 is made with Studio Electronics. That's where the SE stands for. Now, I was an owner of a Studio Electronic SE1 for probably 10 years. And I did teach how to use it, 10 years in the past. And the SE1 is basically a Mini Moog rack mount. It's everything you see in a Mini Moog, except maybe 1 or 2 features, but it's exactly a Mini Moog. And it sounds, I would not say exactly because people will kill me, but it sounds really close to a real Moog. It was made when Moog did not exist anymore, before it came back. I was really curious about how it would sound. It sounds like a ton of brick. Now, it's a real analog synth. It's one of the, it's the only boutique synth that is a real analog sound generator in it. It's digitally controlled, but everything is, analog for the sound circuitry for what you hear.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so after that, we have the LFO, which is syncable. I'll show you that when we do some sequencing, and that's a really big part of this is the sequencer. You know, there's a ton and ton of features on this, like the cross modulations. I won't go too deep into them, but things like modulation from the oscillator 2 to the filter cutoff. So you can do things like, right? Kind of like more wacky sounds like that. You can do pulse width modulation from oscillator 3 to the other 2, so you get this really cool kind of like gnarly.
Yeah. You don't need a distortion pedal with this. You could, but you don't need it.
What's cool about it is that when you listen to how Roland talks about this, they call this the first of the designer series in the boutique synths. It means there's other ones coming in. So we just want to, you know, imagine where this can go. But if you think about it, when they came out with the System 500 last year, it was also a designer series. They wouldn't say it this way, but it was a partnership between them and Maleco, which is doing modular synthesizer, handmade. So it was the first approach for them to do a partnership. Now, this one is the first of a designer series. I'm just curious to see where the other one will go, but you know, keep your eyes open. It's going to be really cool. The last part, he was explaining and showing off the DJ-808 and the DJ-202. Now, I'm not a DJ, so that part I'm less into it, but what was really cool about it is the fact that the DJ-808 and 202, they have a built-in beatbox in it. They have the built-in TR-08 mostly in it.
Actually is its own drum machine. It's a sample sequencer, and it's completely hands-on in the tradition of hardware step sequencing, just like we were looking at here. So it's, you know, it's a collaboration with Serato. So we're using it with Serato DJ, and we worked on this for quite a while with them. But it's a really awesome marriage of two extremely powerful kind of concepts. So essentially, the way it works is we've got up top here step sequencer that's from the TR-08, right? So, and we actually have a lot of sounds built into this. So this is not relying on a computer to do any of the TR sounds.
Okay, so
right?
it will work even if the computer is down.
Totally, you could just power it on, and essentially what we're able to do is have this top section be like the master, right? Just like a MIDI sync. So we can have any pattern we want sequenced. And here, see, it's a step sequencer, just like all the other stuff we're working with.
Yeah, bass drums, snare, close hi-hat. So
open hi-hat, yeah.
So it means that even if you don't run the computer, you can use this to run your you know, the whole beat of the song, and then load the song on top of it. So that's really interesting. It means that you can actually drop songs and load the others back in. You still have your rhythm coming from the mixer. And so you can really mix the hardware with software in the DJ live set. So if any of you guys are synthesizers, you know, music makers, but when you go live you don't want to bring everything, that's kind of a cool, you know, way to approach it. And the other aspect of this is really interesting is I was talking with Echo, you know, the producer and composer, and he's teaching at the same school as I do, and he was explaining to me that this summer he had a problem with his live set because he was playing outside in a festival, and it was so hot that the computer crashed, you know, because the temperature would just kill the computer. It was able to reboot it and work, but it means that the live show just stops and people just go, okay, there's no sound, and then after rebooting it was able to reload and start again. So it was able to play, but with something like the DJ-808, he would have the computer crash, but he would have still the kick, unless the DJ would crash, but the DJ-808 should run, and then you would still have the beat running. And if you brought a couple of hardware synth, they would run the show while you reboot. So it's kind of a cool thing to see that you've got hardware that supports software, and if the software goes away, the hardware stays on. So I guess for somebody doing a lot of live events that is in a, let's say, outside with sun, and you might, not even that, your computer just can crash, these are computers. So it's an interesting approach to see that it's a cool match of have hardware link to the controller in the same, box. So that's it. If you want to know more about these videos, go see in my description. You'll have the links to them. And if you're interested, we do at Musitechnic videos now and so often, mostly once a month. And these videos will sometimes be live, others will be recorded. So you can just go there and also follow the YouTube channel if you want. And that's it. I hope you enjoy them, and see you next time.